Hello, I'm Tom, and in this video I'm going to be showing off some of the things you can do with my latest attempt at writing an audio plugin called Bitty. So this was done in C++ and Juice, so I'm only just learning this really. So anything I've done you can just download for free, and I've got some Kontakt instruments you can download for free as well. So it's a modulated bit crusher, which just basically means half of it's a bit crusher, and you can change the bit rate, add noise and shape it a bit, and then you can use the wobble and depth together to do some modulation. So I'm going to show a few examples on this track and do some automation with it as well. It starts off with like a riser, cymbal riser. So I'll show it without the bitty on it, and then I'll show it with it. Okay, so I'll use it now, and what I'm doing is adding a bit of extra grit to it and a bit of extra modulation, so you can just hear that. Okay, so that's the first place I'm using it. Thinking about the next bit I use it on. Actually, I'll show you this bit here. I had a bit here, and on this bit I'm actually using some bit reduction. So normally it would be at 32 bits. It's on about half, so it'd be on about 16. So this would give a similar effect to, say, if you're using some like old rack units, like say a Yamaha SBX 90, then it's going to be at a lower bit rate, which in some ways sounds a bit crappy compared to today's standards, but some people like it because it gives an extra character and texture, and then I've also got a bit of modulation on it as well. So again, I'll show you with and without on just this section. So this is on this bit here. And then with it. Okay, and another section I used it on is when you get to here, you've actually got three lots of different string parts going. Well, actually one bit's a brass bit, but they were clashing a bit on each other. And this bit wasn't really standing out as much here. So the obvious thing to do is I just turned it up a bit here. So it was on -2. I put it to 0 on here to make it stand through and cut out a bit, and I turned this down a bit overall as well. So you could use compression on it, and you could link them so that when that goes up it pushes that bit down, or you could use panning to help them stand out a bit more. But on the actual drums, I'll show you a bit more on that in a minute, on the drums it's using quite a lot of panning where it's doing it in different parts, so I didn't want to interfere with that. Or you could change the EQ. So what I've done is I've used dynamic EQ in combination with Bitty. So on the first bit I'm using Bitty, so I've just changed the noise level and I've given it a bit of a different sound so it stands out. But even with the volume change and with that, it still needed a bit of extra help. So what I've done is I've linked it from here. I put Pro Q on the original track, which is I wanted to stand out better, and then you set it up, click this button here, and it will show up string loops here, and you could sidechain it automatically, but what I wanted to do is I actually added these as dynamic EQ. So you just add this dynamic EQ, and then when you run this, what you'll see is you'll see the in red the original track, the track from the other track going through, and it will push these down. So I'll just show that. I'll show that working on it. I'll run it from here. So that was used in combination with Bitty to change the tone a bit as well, just to make it stand out more on its own. Okay, so the other main bit I used it on is I tried using it on the original main drum part, on the main drum loop here, and that was a bit too much. So then what I did was I added a new track. I just did insert new track, parallel wobble, and then I drag it across from root to here, so it's coming out of this track as well, and then turn this one down a bit, so it wasn't about -2, then down to -3.43, and then change it on this one, and then on this track here. Now you'll notice what I'm doing here. If you look at the wobble, it's going up and down. So what I have to do if you want to do this, so this is on the parallel wobble track with also, it's also a bit of parallel saturation and distortion, just adds a bit of extra edge. So if you put it onto that track, when you click on wobble, we go to param, go to parameter modulation MIDI link, and then what I've got is I've got the LFO clicked here, and then I adjusted the speed to make it go to about that speed, and the strength to go to about here, and then click on tempo sync, and then what it will do is it will move it backwards and forwards in time to the music. So I'll just solo that on its own, just so you just hear that. Okay, so hopefully it's given you some ideas where you can use it. So thanks for watching if you've managed to get this far. What I'll do now is I'll just play the whole track through. So as I said, I've got quite a few, move this up a bit so you can see a bit more what's going on with these. I've got quite a few more YouTube videos you can check out. There's some various tutorials on Reaper, some on creating Kontakt instruments as well, and you can download any of the things I want for free. So okay, so I'll put it back and have a listen, see what you think. Cheers, bye.
Thank you.